Hello everyone, this is Dan Miller for Bluegrass Unlimited magazine, and today I'm continuing with my little series of videos on fiddle tunes for the 5-string banjo, played predominantly in Scruggs style. Another one of the tunes that kind of lends itself to Scruggs style playing is Salt Creek. And I have to tell you a little story about how I came up with this arrangement, because it's not really my arrangement, it's heavily borrowed. And mostly from Alan Munde, actually, and I think off of his Festival Favorites record. This is going to be similar to the way Alan played it on that record, especially the B part. I've modified the A part a little bit, but the way I got this arrangement is I grew up in Northern Virginia, and as most of you know, Northern Virginia is a pretty thick area for bluegrass, and when I started learning how to play the banjo, I was taking lessons from a guy in Springfield, Virginia, and later I'd take lessons from a guy in Fredericksburg, and then I took lessons from Bill Evans. He was living in Charlottesville at the time. So lots of bluegrass to see, lots of teachers to take lessons from. And then I was in the Marine Corps, and they stationed me in Pensacola, Florida after I left Quantico, Virginia. And in Florida, not so much as far as banjo goes and bluegrass, and I was really kind of hurting for a teacher and bluegrass pals to jam with, and so I put an ad in Banjo newsletter in the classified section asking for banjo pen pals. You know, let's trade tabs, let's trade cassette recordings, and I had, you know, somewhere like a half a dozen people, maybe 8 people answered the ad from various places in the United States and a couple from overseas. And one guy was a banjo player named Jürgen Biller who lived in Germany. And Jürgen and I started corresponding with each other, and he was, you know, really great, and he had transcribed a lot of stuff and tabbed it out himself. And he was sending me some tabs and some cassettes. And then later, a year or two later, I think in 1985, he came to the United States for his first trip, and he stayed with me, and I took him around to a bunch of bluegrass festivals. I was living in North Carolina by that time. And so, long story short, Jürgen had tabbed out a version of Alan Munde's Salt Creek. And so he had given me that tab, and I learned it from that tab, and over the years, I modified the A part a little bit. Alan does some different things in there, but the B part is real close to what Alan played, because I really like the lick, especially a couple of the licks that Alan put in there, so I sort of kept it that way. So all that to say, thanks to Alan Munde for this arrangement, because this arrangement I'm going to play for you today is heavily based on Alan's way of playing this. And also a shout out and a thanks to Jürgen Biller for doing the transcriptions on this. So thanks to those two guys, and I hope you guys don't mind that I put this on the video today and tab it out here, and I'm hoping that they don't. So let's go ahead. I'm going to play Salt Creek through at a faster pace so you can get an idea of what it's going to sound like, and then I'm going to break it down a little bit for you, and then maybe show you a little bit of a vamping backup that might be cool. Okay, so that's the arrangement, and now let's just break it down. The A part is fairly straightforward. I'm going to start with a slide from on the D string from 2 to 5, and then a pinch, another pinch. And you've got the tab, so you can see what I'm doing here, so I won't go into a lot of explanation, especially in the A part. It's pretty straightforward, so I'm going to go. And that quick C chord in there, I'm just doing a double stop on the high 2 strings for that C. And then I'm going to the F part, I'm just doing, just kind of holding this F chord down, this partial F chord, and doing this pull off on the third string from 2 to 0. Sorry. And then again sliding. Same kind of lick as the beginning, and then, and that's just a really standard lick in G. You guys probably know how to do that. And now I'm going to just do a walk down. So just change that up a little bit, and then the same thing. So let me do that again. And then I'm going to go into the. So that's the same. So the A part, the first time through the A and the second time through the A are exactly the same, except for over the F chord. And the first time I'm going, and the second time I'm going. Just a slight difference, but it's kind of cool to add a little bit of variation that way. Now the B part, I pretty much play the B the same the first time and second time through, and that's where we get into this cool Alan Munde lick. The first little part on the B, the first phrase of the B section is going to go like this. Okay, and you can read that from the tab, but that's where it sounds like a little slower. And then the second part, which I think is the coolest lick, is. Okay, and again, you could read that from the tab, but that's how it sounds played slow. And then now we're going to go back to that same part with the 2 to 5 slide. And then we go down to this position again. Kind of a bluesy thing at the end. That's really cool. And I just play the same thing again the second time through the B part. So it's A, A, B, B, and I just have that slight change over the F chord in the A, 2 different A versions. In the B versions, I just play the same. But if you already play Salt Creek, just take one of those versions and throw it into your version. Or I think that Alan's a banjo genius, of course, and he came up with a really cool way to play that B part, and I just always play it that way because I like the way that sounds and feels. So anyway, that's the solo to Salt Creek. You can go ahead and read the tab. If you're watching this on YouTube, then go to the Bluegrass Unlimited website, bluegrassunlimited.com, and go to the lessons page, and then you can get the tablature. So as far as the backup to this goes, like a vamping style backup, I'm going to show you something similar to what Jurgen showed me the way he did it. I've modified a little bit over time, but it's pretty much the same still. And here's the first 2 measures of G, then go to a half measure of C, which is real quick. So instead of going way up here to C, because the next chord you're going to go to is F, you could go like this. Just that real quick vamp, and then and then to D right there. And then from there, you could do the same thing, or you could do this little. Some little lick like that you can throw in, sliding up to the 8th fret, like that, or you could just do another vamp over the D chord and then back to G. Now, on the B part, it's a cool thing. Jurgen showed me the way he moved this around in his vamping. You could just go, it's going to go 2 measures of D, 2 measures of F, 2 measures of G. So, 2 measures of G, 2 measures of F, 2 measures of G, back and forth like that. So you could just go. like that. But the way Jürgen did it is he used this inversion from here, there, over the D, the G and the F. So he went. And then he went. I thought that was cool. Sometimes that might sound too busy depending on what other members of the band are doing, but that's kind of a cool way to move up and down between this position G, this position G, same inversion in F, and then that little walk. That's kind of a cool move. I always enjoyed that. So I hope you enjoy playing Salt Creek on the banjo, and you know, learn that version, mix it up with what you already know, or learn some other things to put in there, and have fun with Salt Creek on 5-string banjo. We'll see you next time.